So today I'm going to be talking about what I would do if I was to start my videography filmmaking business from zero, mate, in 2025, because it's pretty obvious that the world has changed. The landscape of what we do as solo filmmakers has changed massively since I was 14, picking up a camera for the very first time. There was a lot of lessons that I learned as I was coming up in my videography filmmaking career that I think really do still ring true today. But there's also a couple of tips and tricks that I think we really need to be mindful of going into the future, because the landscape is shifting and changing and we're like on this sand which is constantly moving, mate, which is the creative industry. So let's get stuck in on this one. This video is sponsored by Artlist, so I'll be talking a little bit about Artlist later. But first up, mate, let me give you a little bit of a background story. If you don't know who I am and you're thinking, who the hell is this geezer trying to tell me something? Who is he? What does he know? At the end of the day, I genuinely am just a nobody. But I grew up in a small local village in Essex, and I slowly started getting clients from different little local businesses. Friends, parents that worked in companies then said, "Oh, James, like your videos, can we get you in to do a tour of our office," and that kind of stuff. Then started doing stuff for a local jeweler. Then I started making videos for real estate agents, literally stuck my toes in a bit of everything, mate. Wedding videos, a lot. And slowly but surely, from literally getting my very first clients out of this tiny little village in Essex in the UK, to then going on to work for some of the biggest brands in the world, like Sony, Intel, Sky Sports, Adidas, all of these really interesting, cool companies. And I'm super, super proud of being able to work for some of them brands. Truly, truly honoured. So hopefully that'll give you a bit of an idea as to what can be done if you're just knocking about with a Canon T5, what are they called? I had a 550D. So whatever that is, a T2i, mate. If you're rocking about with that tiny little camera and you're thinking maybe I can actually do something with my life, then I really hope that you can, and I hope that this video does help you out as well. So the number one thing that I think is really, really important for local creatives or smaller creatives that are just starting out, number one, mate, start local before you go global. Now, the reason that I think it's really, really important to start locally and start really small is because you start to dip your toes into what it's like to work with a client. Maybe it's your first ever, freelance job. So when you first start out, you have no idea. You probably know how to make videos, right? But you have no idea on how to actually deal with a client, deal with people, hold yourself professionally, right? So the people that I like to work with, I know that they can hold themselves professionally in front of a client, in front of general public, whoever it is. If you can slowly dip your toes into working locally, you're going to literally iron out all of your issues being a filmmaker or a creative, to the point where you do slowly level up and go out to them much more bigger global brands. You are on point, you know how to deal with clients, you know how to literally greet people in the office, down to them tiny things, mate, because those are the things that keep you jobs. It's about how you hold yourself as a professional and also the quality of work that you do. So there is a good balance there as well. But yeah, starting locally is really going to give you that idea as to how you should move in the industry, move in the space. You learn that there are some really bad people out there that you shouldn't work with, that just want to rinse you for your work, getting paid in exposure and all that. You will experience some of that. But weeding all of that kind of stuff out nice and early is really, really important, because you will eventually, slowly over time, build out clients. Clients get bigger slowly and surely. You work for these much, much bigger companies and your productions get bigger, and your career does slowly start to take off. And I genuinely hope that yours does, mate. It is a brilliant industry to work in, and I really hope that you get to enjoy all the things that I've managed to enjoy over the years. Number two would be open to change, right? The landscape that we're working in is changing so fast, and I'm not going to name any names, but I know people in the industry that have been so stuck in their ways, like, no, this is how photography is done, this is how videography is done. People that, for an example, right, shooting on film. If you're one of them people during that transition from film to digital, and you dug your heels in and you were like, no, filmmaking should be shot on film, and like you were just so resistant to the digital age of coming into digital filmmaking, right, or digital videography, you would be stuck in the dust, mate, and you would be dead, and your career would be dead in the water. Now, don't get me wrong, I love sticking to like traditional values when it comes to pretty much anything, to be honest. Traditional values when it comes to filmmaking and stuff like that, really honing in on the story, doing the entire process yourself, hands-on. I love that. It's a beautiful thing. But in your career, is it going to work? Maybe, maybe not. So I think being open to change, there is a massive wave coming in for the filmmaking space, which is going to shake us up really, really hard. And I think we really, really need to be like prepared for it, right? And I think we all know what that is. It's a 2-letter word and it's AI. I am seeing some amazing AI content, amazing AI pieces, which I'm like, what on earth? And I know that that's taken someone no time to make, right? Now, don't get me wrong, it ain't nowhere near going to be good enough to really start making a massive dent and impact on us as filmmakers just yet, right? But I do feel like we really need to embrace what's coming rather than fight it off. Now, there's a double-edged sword going on here, right? Because as much as that kind of artificial world of visuals, creativity comes in to our space and into the world in general, there is going to be a massive craving for authentic, human-made stories, right? Now, lately, I've been actually getting approached by some of my older clients and some new clients that specifically want like really deep story-driven stuff. They don't just want this flashy, catch your eye, commercially based content no more. They're specifically calling me up and saying, James, we want you for this project because we love the way that you tell a story, which obviously for me, that is like the biggest compliment that I could get as a filmmaker, right? But that literally happened to me last week. So there is this massive crave for telling a story. And that is actually going to be point number 3. If you can tell a story better than just throwing flashy images at people that just get this brain rot when it comes to content, right? If you can really tell a deep, human, felt story that you can clearly see is human made, I think you are really going to be able to stand out, and you're probably going to be able to do quite well out of it because it's a really time-consuming human element. And a lot of brands, I think, are going to shift that way. Obviously, there's this big AI space that's coming in for very quick, fast content. We all know that brands need quick and fast content. But at the same time, brands need depth, right? And at the end of the day, humans are investing in these brands. Humans are buying these projects or buying these products, right? So at the end of the day, if you can add that real human flair to what you do without being, completely left behind in the dust, then you are really going to be able to do well in this industry, because I do feel like that human story-driven content is going to be more important than ever the more that the world, kind of gets automated. So I think it's really important to have one foot over here, be really open to that change, embrace it, learn it, use it to your benefit, but also stick to your roots. Tell a great story. We're humans at the end of the day. We feel things, we buy things because we feel something, right? So at the end of the day, if you can keep making humans feel something and then deliver that as a service to a client, then at the end of the day, mate, you're going to be absolutely fine. And talking about being open to change, a company that is so open to change and pushing things forward are Artlist. Now, you lot already know I've been using Artlist for so long. I even done quite a big campaign for them last year, which was amazing. And they are without a doubt, in my opinion, the most innovative. They're really progressing our industry and pushing things forward. It is an absolute essential to what I do as a filmmaker and as a content creator. You do need royalty-free stock assets, music, sound effects, voiceovers. All of these different things are absolutely integral to what I do as a filmmaker. Now, Artlist have been upping their game hugely over the last couple of years. They've been adding lots to their catalogue. They've now got an AI text-to-speech voiceover generator, which is completely insane. You've got this entire Artlist catalogue of assets. It's almost like a filmmaker's toolbox. Like, I see it as an absolute essential to what I do. I dip and dive into my catalogues whenever I need them, and also we've now got collaborative artboards. So if I make an artboard for a project, I can share that with a client, I can share that with the entire team, and they can go in and they can add or subtract anything that they want from that artboard so that we can completely work collaboratively, and it's just such an easier way to work with assets and a team. Now, over the last couple of years, Artists have really been diving head first into the whole AI wave. And they are without a doubt an absolute leader when it comes to generative AI to really help you tell a story as a creator. And the entire search experience on Artlist is second to none. You can literally throw any asset into one artboard, whether it's templates, footage, music, sound effects, an AI generated voiceover, all into the same artboard so that you've got your entire project assets right there. Artlist work with world-class artists to bring literally the best kind of assets to the platform, and the entire experience of using Artlist is so personalized to what you're trying to do. So if you've got a particular piece of footage, for example, in one of your artboards, it is going to recommend you sound effects that will go with that footage. It's honestly so interesting just to see what Artlist are constantly working on. They're always doing something. In my opinion, it's really important to be a part of the innovation of tomorrow and be a part of that train. So if you do want to check out Artlist, I'll leave a link in the first line of my description, and you will get 2 months for free when you sign up for an annual subscription when you use that link in the description. On to another little topic. Now, the next one, you're probably going to think is pretty obvious, but I think it has rung true so deeply when it comes to the kind of work that I've done and the people that I've continued to work with for close to 10 years, some of them, right? And also the people that I constantly work with, people that I hire on my own shoots, for example, they have this characteristic, and it's just so obvious as to why they're in that position that they're in and why they're getting so many good jobs. And that is simply to just be a good person, mate. At the end of the day, creatives, you're working with other people. You're working with other humans. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of creatives have worked with some right arseholes, yeah? And you remember that from the minute that they're an arsehole, you actually remember it basically for the rest of your career, right? So if you're a good person, always deliver more value than you're taking. Now, I'm not saying get taken advantage of, right? But always give a little bit more value back to the client than you're taking from them. Be a good person. Don't moan about things, just get things done. Now, if someone's actually taking the piss, obviously you're going to dump them. You're not going to keep them as a client, right? You're not going to continue getting the piss taken out of you. That has only happened to me once, mate. I think there's only one situation where that's truly happened. And you're not going to continue to work for someone who's taking the piss out of you, right? But being that good person is going to mean that you're never going to burn a bridge, because in life, you never really know where things are going to go. I don't know if I'm going to be a filmmaker forever. I'd love to be, and I want to be, and I'm going to go wherever this journey takes me, right? But at the end of the day, as long as you've been a really good person to every single person that you've worked with, even if some people have been an arsehole and you've kept your integrity, right? Your journey will come around and it will swing around, and you will bump back into people, and you will have opportunities from people that you've met. And you will also give other people opportunities as well through your network, right? But you're going to bump back into people that you may have worked with in the past that you know, your journeys might have just parted at one point. But when you do bump back into them, if you're on good terms and they remember you as a good person, they're going to throw you into a ring of an amazing network, or you're going to do the same for them, and it's just going to create opportunities. So being a good person is so underrated when it comes to what we do as filmmakers and just the industry that we work in. Everyone remembers that arsehole. They do. You don't forget them. Now, the final one is actually one that I've never actually touched upon on the channel, and that's about money. Now, I've spoke a little bit about making money, and making money is one thing. Like, we all want to make money. Yeah, we're humans. We need to make money to pay for things. And we also, you know, we just want to live a pretty decent life at the end of the day. Now, in the landscape that we're in today, this is something that I wish I'd have understood, but I was too busy just in the grind, you know, as you do. Like, and I can't blame myself, and I don't blame anyone else who's in the grind. Like, being in the grind is some of the best times of your life, right? But something that I wish I had have done when I first started out is understand money. Understand how it works, right? So we're in this system of fiat money, which is GBP for me, couple of quid, mate, bit of dosh, Bunsen burner, earner. And then also you got the US dollar in the States. I'm not sure where you guys are from, but just think of these fiat currencies that we got. Now, we're in this game of we earn this stuff, right? And we're expending our time and our energy for this money, and we're making money. Now, if we're spending all of this time learning how to earn this money, why don't we spend just as much time learning how to actually keep it? Yeah, like its value. Why are we spending so much time trying to grab all the money if the money is just burning away, right? And that could be through spending, but that could also be through things like inflation and devaluing of money, right? So over like the last, I've been working in this industry for 15 years realistically. Now, the pound that I earn on my very first job right now is probably worth about, these days, honestly, don't look at the numbers for this one, but that pound is probably only worth about 70p now, right? Now, if I'd have stuck that quid in a vehicle that's actually going to grow, now I'm talking about investing, right? This is not financial advice, mate, because I'll get you wrecked. But investing is something I think as a filmmaker is really, really important because, and I think it's important for anyone, right? But I can only really speak for filmmakers because that's what I am. And I just think it's so important to learn early when you start making money, how do you actually hold on to it and how do you hold the value of your money, right? Because of inflation, because of debasing of currencies. Now I've honestly gone down rabbit holes, mate, and maybe it's something that I might make a video on in the future, but something that I find really intriguing is just how to hold on to your money, hold on to your money's value, because we work so hard as filmmakers, or anyone. A lot of people do just work hard, but I know as filmmakers, we work our asses off for the money that we earn. And the thing that is important is how do we hold on to it? How do we continue to allow it to grow and invest it in the right places and start to actually take care of our money rather than just making it, right? So once we do make some money, look after it and try and make it grow. So I definitely think investing is something that we should be thinking about. I'm not going to give you any financial advice because I'm not a financial advisor. But I can give you some filmmaking tips and tricks because that's what I do, mate. I make videos. So finally, I really hope that you guys enjoyed that little rant. Obviously a little bit different from my usual videos, but I thought it'd be really interesting to give you guys an insight as to what I would do the same if I was starting out or things that I do different. Be open to change, be a good person. Obviously, try and keep the value of your money that you're actually earning because, you know, filmmaking ain't an easy gig, mate, as much as people might think it is. And what was the last one I've done? Oh, yeah, start local, go global. Start off small, work your way up, mate, because you're going to make them little mistakes at the start locally. Boom, bang them out big. Anyway, you lot, thanks so much for watching this video. I do hope that you enjoyed it. Obviously, check out Artlist, first link in my description. And as always, mate, I'll be catching you lot in the next one, mate. I really need to change this outro, don't I? Bosh.